You know, it's good to remember that while they call for no kings and no billionaires, they live a pretty cushy life, don't they?
Do I own 3 residences? Yeah, I do. I live here in Burlington, Vermont. We live in a middle-class neighborhood. Nice house. Guess what? I'm a United States Senator, and I own a home in Washington, D.C., as do most senators. You know, you live there year after year. When I first went to, actually, when I was in Congress for 16 years, I rented all the time. But I got elected. Okay, got a 6-year term. You know what? Let's buy a house. So we bought a house. And guess what? Like many thousands of people in the state of Vermont, I have a summer camp. It's a nice one on Lake Champlain. That's it.
That's it. That's it. 3 houses, just 3 houses, including summer camp. By the way, sounds kind of like millionaire speak to me, calling your summer getaway house a summer camp, doesn't it? Sound very working class to me, though, now does it? And how exactly did Bernie Sanders, a man who works for the government, how did he pay for with the salary he's paid for with our tax dollars? That's how he did it. How does Bernie get to have not 1, not 2, but 3 houses as a high-level government employee? By the way, he's a senator. He never makes more than $174,000 a year before taxes. Yet 3 houses, pretty impressive. Lucky guy. Must have a good tax accountant, don't you think? But you see, here's the thing. Unlike socialists like him, I don't begrudge him for making money. You work hard, you reap the rewards of living in a capitalist society. The free market does wonderful things for people. You work hard and you can sink your teeth into the free market economy and take a bite out of it. But that's not the message Bernie Sanders is sending out. It's most certainly not the one he and his fellow far-left comrades have pushed down the throat of the people. No, the message that he and his party are sending Americans is that the same one that has led to the deaths of millions and millions of people, socialism, that message has taken over his party. And the message is taking over this country, slowly but surely. It's creeping. Socialist creep. Have you heard of it? It's real. It will kill America and Americans if we don't put an end to it. History repeating itself, folks. They know exactly what they're doing, calling this protest nonsense no kings. Of course, there's no king. If anything, those who have stayed in their top-level roles in government, talking about Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, sure, Chuck Schumer, Bernie Sanders, they're more like kings than President Trump will ever be. Kings, by the way, respond to a difference of opinion through violence. Disagree? You're hanged in the public square. Read President Trump's mugshot, or worse, read Charlie Kirk's assassination in broad daylight in the public square. When communism took over Russia through violence, that was called the Russian Revolution. Of course, there was a king in Russia at the time. The revolutionaries pretended they were fighting against the king on behalf of the working people. And when then they won and got all the power on behalf of the people, what happened? They became worse than the kings they removed. And their answer is to blame the so-called oligarchs, the so-called kings, while they collect all the riches for themselves. Here's OG American socialist 3 houses Bernie again, just yesterday.
Why do they not like you and trust you right now?
Well, I think the independents are a different story than Democrats. But right now, I think the answer is people looking around them. Can they afford health care? No. What have the Democrats thought about that? Not a whole lot. Can their kids afford to go to child care? Well, no, child care is outrageously expensive. What about housing? How are we doing on housing? Nobody in America can afford housing right now. Housing costs are astronomical. You want to get your kids to eat decent food and not junk food so they don't become obese? Go to the grocery store. Find out how much it costs for decent quality food. What about rural America? Our hospitals are shutting down. So this country faces many crises.
Give it away. Give it all away. Housing, food, just give it away. Don't worry, someone will pay for it. And this is why Bernie, I don't know, maybe because you and all your comrades own 2, 3, 4 houses in a summer camp. Maybe because Nancy Pelosi dabbles in some insider trading, you think? Or is it the insanely poor choices of Democrats over the past 2 decades? Let's remember, a Democrat sat in our White House for 12 of the past 17 years. All of the suffering is because of insane socialist spending, a war on energy, and spending millions to fund illegals, just to name a few of their ideas, those great ideas. Those are all Democrat policies. But go on, King.
And I think a lot of working class people said, look, Trump is crazy. He lies all the time, but at least he's going to do something. Where are the Democrats? And the Democrats have got to make a very fundamental decision. Do you stand with the struggling working class, 60% of whom are living paycheck to paycheck, trying to survive? Are you prepared to take on the oligarchy, the Musks and the Bezos who have never had it so good?
the oligarchy, the millionaires and billionaires. Lots to unpack on that statement right there. Trump is a liar? No. He's just only been in the Oval for 8 months, and it takes a long time to undo Democrat stupidity, the oligarchs. Well, there's a word again. Look, there's a man in New York right now who wants to take New York City off a socialist cliff. It's hard to imagine the financial center of America falling to communism, and yet it's about to. Zohran Mamdani is about to win the New York City race, mayoral race. It's not even close right now. As long as Curtis Lewa stays in the race, and today he made it clear that he's staying in, New York is about to learn the lesson the hard way of socialism. Socialists like Mamdani, Elizabeth Warren, AOC, and Bernie are going to give everyone everything they want, and the rich are going to pay for it, the people who work hard. Even the middle class is going to pay for the lower class. But what if you don't have any more rich people to loan the federal, state, and city governments the trillions they need to pay for it all? Take from the rich and redistribute. That's their promise. Sorry, but New York already isn't the greatest city in the world anymore. Even though it's always been pricey to live there, the powers that be were arrogant to believe that rich people will never leave, right? Well, it didn't really work out that way. They'll just grumble and they won't leave, right? But they already have been, and they will continue to. Just look at Florida. Real estate prices are exploding down here. Why? Just wait till Mamdani wins. It's going to be even worse. You can't redistribute money you don't have anymore. There's been a steady stream of leaving that will now turn into a flood if and when Mamdani wins. And who will pay for all the free stuff, the free buses, the free food, the free housing for illegals? Rich don't have much money to do all that. They don't have noisy protests in the streets. Once taxes go above 52%, as Mamdani promised, once crime goes back up and once prostitutes roam the streets, people will just leave. People who can afford it will just quietly get up, pack up, and leave. And you don't often notice they're gone until you already anticipated those tax revenues, and then they're not there anymore, and they fall short of your projections. They will leave New York, and they will leave all socialist cities with mayors that want to tax through the roof, fund illegals and crime, and support terrorists. That's because socialism is the root of all evil. It will kill cities like New York, and it will kill this country if we let it.